Today we're becoming your mortgage superheroes. Wonder Twin powers, activate!
Form of mortgage guru.
Form of a politician. Hello, everybody. My name is Barry Horvath, and this is Moving Forward TV, your local superhero show.
That's right.
Wait.
And market update.
Oh, wow.
Hello. And I am Delynn Gaston, superhero.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us today. I think I need a cape, though. Don't I? Hey,
No.
Can I have a cape?
We have Wonder Twin powers. You don't need nothing.
So you don't need capes with
Wonder
Wonder Twin powers?
Well, actually, they did work.
I don't know. I think I need, like, and I need, like,
You feel like you need
Wonder
something?
Woman, like...
You got to have the powers. Feel the power.
Feel the power. All right, so today's show, actually, what we're doing is we're answering questions from the pile. Go figure, we get a lot of questions.
I know, we do. Actually, you get more questions than I do. I just say, ask Delynn.
Yeah, I know, because I know. It always ends up, but it's funny because we always bounce them off each other.
Yes,
because they are good questions. Some of the questions are very easy and normal, but some of the questions are actually kind of challenging and make you go,
Yes. So we actually had a top 100 list, but guess what? This is a short show. We don't have time for that. So we're just going to give you the top 10 or so, and maybe, and we'll discuss them. But these are real live questions that are coming in all the time. Because people ask you all the time.
All the time. They call me all the time and ask me questions. Okay, so let's just jump right into it, shall we, with our top 10 list. And these are in no particular order, just kind of like pulled them up. So.
You're so silly.
All right, so I'm going to ask the questions and you can give the answers, okay?
You know what?
I like that, actually. I'll ask the questions and you can just give the answer.
Perfect for me, Delynn.
All right, so here's the first one. So this is obviously from a realtor, and they're mixed. Some of them are from consumers and some of them are from real estate professionals. So
And some
this
are
one
from-
happens to be from a real estate professional. What happens when the appraisals come in low? And followed by, why are they coming in low lately?
So wait, let me guess. This is questions are about buying a house? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I know. You just assume people know what we're going
They
to talk
know
about.
what we do.
Not really. Not everybody.
Okay.
Because I was the form of
So
a
about
politician.
buying, that's
You're
true.
the guru. You ain't the
I'm a
answer.
mortgage guru, right.
So what do we do when the appraisal comes in low? You know what? It's one of those things right now that a lot of the appraisals are coming in lower because, let's face it, folks, it's a seller's market out there right now, especially in the Tampa Bay area and other regions of the country. So sellers are trying to get top dollar, and they're actually overvaluing in some cases on properties. And appraisers are now handcuffed because of what happened in, back in the market bust. So they're really trying to be compliant on bringing in the values. So what can happen? Well, you have two options. Number one, obviously, if you're getting financing, you come up with a difference.
Right.
That would be my last choice, personally.
Right.
But, if you really want the house and if you feel like it's a good value and you're staying there long term, that's not a bad option.
Right.
The other option is you go back to the table with the seller because every contract assumes that,
The appraisals
come in and it's stated in the contract. So the other option is the seller lowers their price. Or
Negotiate
you
somewhere in the
negotiate
middle.
somewhere in the middle. Absolutely. So that's a great question, though. But we're seeing a lot of that lately, more so than we have in a very, very long time.
Somebody had said, and I thought this was a great line, we as Americans have short memories.
Huh?
And we as politicians have even shorter memories.
Leave me alone.
That was
Nice.
good, you got to admit.
That is
But
funny.
anyway, people, and you're right, because it is a seller's market and the prices are just, going up and up and up, and there's multiple offers on the same house, and that's kind of what spawns it. But we really need to get a grip on things that the appraisal world hasn't caught up with that yet. The actual sales haven't caught up with that yet. So in time it will, but we have to be a little
And
realistic.
Cash purchases are driving up the market because
Yes.
no appraisals required. So you have investors with cash, and that's a
Right.
big part of it, and that will bring the values up. The appraisals are kind of, financed are going to be within
Right.
a range, but the cash purchases are driving up. All right, ask me another
Right.
question.
Okay.
Because we have a lot
Question
more
number
to go.
two.
Number 2. This is our top 2 list.
I don't remember if this was from a consumer or realtor, but does make a
was
difference.
from
What are
somebody.
the minimum credit scores needed? And
this
that's
for
a
me?
little, that's kind of like a little all, well, we can both answer. That's a little all over the board.
Yeah, 'cause
Lenders
it-
have their own.
Yeah, it's going to vary by
Right.
lender.
Because people will say, well, I read the guidelines on FHA and they don't have a minimum credit
That's
score.
true. FHA
That
has
is true.
no minimum credit scores.
However,
You'll find that most lenders do. I think the standard out there seems to be the 620 to 640 neighborhood, although some claim 580, but I think you have to be walk on water. And
Yeah.
if you're a 580, you're not a walk on water. Sorry,
Right.
folks. Hate to,
Right.
There's other glitches, like you can't have lates in the last 12 months.
There's a lot of-
And
that
if you have
goes
a
into it.
580, you're not going to probably qualify, more than likely, unless it's just medical collection. So-
but what we do recommend highly is that if you do have a lower credit score or something, work with your mortgage professional who will probably be able to help you, give you some tips on how to get that up, get your score up. It does have to be higher. Even though FHA doesn't have a minimum credit score, they're only insuring the loan, they're not making the loan. So keep in mind the lender has the ultimate say on what the minimum credit score is going to be.
Good question, Delyn.
I know, that was excellent. What a good answer. I am proud of myself. All
any
right,
more?
next one. How much money do I need to put down? There's an open-ended question.
Open-ended question. You know
That's
what?
from a consumer.
Yep. There's all kinds of answers to this because it could
Mm-hmm.
be 0, because if you're going VA or USDA, it's a 0 down program.
Right.
FHA, 3.5. Conventional, 3 now.
Right. There's some programs.
Yep.
Right. Fannie Mae has a 3% program out there.
Standard conventional, though, is typically 20% if you want to avoid all MI. So that's a great question. But you know what? We're going to take a break because I think Casey's cooking up something really good. So we got to take a look and see if she's cooking. I heard she was going to cook some cranberry and eggnog bread, but that's just the rumor
Oh
on the
my
street.
gosh, is that it? Oh my gosh. Okay.
So we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Casey Quaretti. This is Chat and Dish, and today I'm going to answer that question: what to do with all that eggnog and all those cranberries that are in the market? Well, we're not going to drink the eggnog. We're going to use it to make cranberry eggnog sweetbread. Let's take a quick run by the ingredients: 2.5 cups of self-rising flour, 1 cup of fresh cranberries, 1/2 cup each of oatmeal and walnuts. Then we're going to need 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1.5 cups of eggnog, 1 cup sugar, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 teaspoons of rum extract, 1/2 cup of butter, a little bit of lemon zest and lemon juice. That's it. Let's go make sweetbread. We're going to cream together our butter and our sugar until it's light and fluffy. See how nice it looks? All very light yellow. Perfect. Now's the perfect time to add your egg and mix it up well. Add your vanilla and your rum. Okay, everything is mixed together really well. Now it's time to go ahead and add our eggnog. Now it's time to add our cinnamon and our salt. Mix it in well with our flour. You can just do that with a spoon or a fork. Doesn't really matter. Just want to get it well incorporated before we add it to our liquids. Mix your flour into your eggnog mixture, just a little bit at a time. Once your flour is incorporated, go ahead and add your oatmeal. I have a few tablespoons of flour, and I've got that in the bottom of a bowl. And I'm going to add our cranberries and our walnuts, and then I'm going to give that a stir. What I'm doing is coating the cranberries and the walnuts with a little tiny bit of flour. The reason I'm doing that is because once you mix them into the batter, if they're coated with flour, they don't all sink to the bottom, and you'll have them evenly distributed throughout your bread. Before we add our cranberries and walnuts, we need to go ahead and add in our lemon zest and juice. We're going to use the zest of the whole lemon. That's going to give us about a half a teaspoon of zest, and then we want about a tablespoon of the lemon juice itself. Give the zest and juice just a minute to mix into the batter. There we go, that should be enough. Just the very last little bit of this is done by hand, and that's mixing the cranberries and the walnuts into the batter. This batter that we've made will fill 4 of the mini cake loaves. It's actually very delightful, perfect for the freezer. And we're just going to get these little suckers filled up, and then we are going to be ready to pop them in the oven. For our little baby loaves, we're going to put them in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes at 350 degrees. If you're using a full-size or normal loaf pan, I want you to leave it in for about 50 to 55 minutes, 350 degrees. Our 4 little loaves that are destined for my neighbors are all out of the oven. This is the loaf that I made for myself and my family today. This is the slice that I'm munching on right now because it's absolutely delicious. I know when you try it, you're going to love it. As always, thank you for visiting. Until next time, I'm going to miss you. Cheers!
What'd you think of that eggnog bread?
I need that in my life.
You need everything that tastes
I
good.
definitely need that in my life.
You just say that.
No,
Every time she
yum.
cooks something, you're like, I need that.
I
need
do.
that."
I do.
Actually, she makes some pretty darn cool dishes. So
I know.
We love Casey.
And for those of you who don't know, Casey is actually on the Food Network. She is a famous chef.
Yeah, and that's why we put her
And
on
we're
our
just,
show.
I
So
know,
we could be
and
more
we
famous.
are very, very fortunate to
All right,
have
let's
her
get back to our
on the
questions.
show. Okay, all right. Fine,
Remember
fine,
we
fine.
were asking
All right, number
mortgage
4.
questions, the top questions that
Top
come
10,
in.
top 10, top 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And you're on cranberry
next
eggnog
one.
bread.
I know, that's it, and I'm hungry.
Quit
So,
getting off track.
does the condition of the house matter?
You're
You
asking
take
me?
that one.
I take it every
No,
question.
buy whatever you want.
All right. Let me answer the
Kidding.
question. The condition of the house when you're doing financing does matter, because especially in FHA and even VA, because remember that lender is being insured by that program,
Right.
that the house is going to be in good condition. And, you know,
Now,
we
for
can't
what
have-
it's worth, I know a lot of realtors shy away from FHA, and a lot of sellers, they don't like doing FHA because of that reason. They think that it's going to be too hard on the appraisal. Quite frankly, people, even conventional, everybody's a little skittish these days. You know, the property, it can't be a falling down shack. I mean,
Right.
if it's got issues, please bring it to the attention of your loan officer up front. Don't try and hide these things. Bring it to our attention up front, and we can deal with it.
And it could be as simple as floor covering.
Right.
You know, the roof life matters more in FHA. So check with your lender, get with them, but the condition definitely matters. What's the next question, Lynn?
Definitely matters.
Because I got my Wonder Twin Powers hat on, and I'm thinking,
Okay, this came from a consumer. I've had a job for a while. What if I change my job?
so Lynn, why don't you take that question?
Okay, I will take that question.
Because you are the mortgage guru. I'm just the politician.
Changing jobs. So if you were to change your job, that's fine, as long as you're in the same line of work. We are looking for, we in the mortgage industry anyway, we look for a consistency in the same line of work. So if you are working for an insurance company and you're an insurance agent and you get a better offer with a different insurance agent, same salary or a
Or a
little
worse
better or
offer.
something like that, and you go, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. There's not a problem with that. It's when you go from being an insurance agent and your life stream was to become a fireman, and you just got into fireman school, guess what? That's going to be a problem.
How do you go from insurance to fireman?
I've had that happen.
Oh,
I
stop.
really have, believe
You're
it or
so
not.
funny.
I've been doing this 100 years. So
100 years.
yes, so I've had
By the
that
way, you
happen.
look 25.
And thank you. And the problem is that it's a different line of work, and the issue is because they don't know that somebody who's going from a desk job, can they withstand physically, if we're going to be counting on this new, fireman job that you've had for like a month and a half or something, can you physically
I'm so glad I'm a Wonder
withstand
Twin.
that? But
All right.
that's the honest
I'm glad you're the
answer.
mortgage guru, because
Yes,
fireman
that is the honest answer.
insurance.
Okay, next
Go on.
question.
What's the
Are
next
you ready
question?
for the next question?
Yeah, because you're rambling.
Is it different for self-employed?
That's a great question, Delyn. Is it different for self-employed? Yes, it's different for self-employed people versus W-2. So if you have taxes taken out of your paycheck, meaning you're a W-2 versus a 1099, people are like, well, I work for a company, but they give you a 1099. You are self-employed. And self-employment typically requires 2 years, although there are some exceptions where
Right.
1 year can be allowed.
Correct.
So it definitely makes a difference. So don't go from, even though the same company, all of a sudden they switch you from W-2 to 1099, that can make the difference of you getting a loan.
Or if you have been in the same line of work for, again, we'll just use insurance agent for a long time and you decide to go out on your own.
And be a fireman.
No, and go out on your own in the insurance
And
field.
open your own fire department. Sorry.
Is that a problem?
Next question, please. Check with your lender.
How long is this whole process going to take?
I don't know. The show's probably 30 minutes, so
30 to 45 days. 30 to 45 days is typical. Plan on it.
I like my answer better. 30 minutes and we're done. We're out. And that includes cooking.
Next question. I'm looking to buy another house. Do I have to sell my existing house first?
Delyn, I'm
Why
glad
don't
you
you
asked that
take that
question.
one?
That's a great question. You know what? Again, it depends. If you have landlord experience of 2 years or more, meaning you've done rental properties before, potentially you could count lease rental income on this new property. It also depends on your debt ratio, meaning can you afford the debt without selling that house? So those things all play in if you need to sell that house or not to buy the new one. So again,
Talk to your loan officer.
talk to your loan officer
up front.
because you know what? There's no perfect mold here.
Right.
There's square boxes and round
Every
pegs.
single person's
The round peg
situation
fits
is
in the square
different.
hole, right?
Every person's situation is
Yeah,
different.
you need
So
you need a custom situation. All right, next question.
it's not an assembly line, right?
Although depends.
Okay.
I know some lenders that are. Just saying.
I have had a foreclosure and credit problems in the past. Can I ever own a home again?
No.
Yes. He's wrong. Don't listen to him.
Yes, you can own a home again if you've had a foreclosure or short sale or bankruptcy or other credit challenges. Guidelines vary by the loan program, but typically after, FHA, your government insured, is a little more forgiving than most because the government is guaranteeing it. Typically 3 years
Right.
after short sale foreclosure.
2 years on VA.
Yep, 2 years on, and again, and it will vary because every lender has their overlay. Conventional guidelines are more stringent. So again, check with your specific lender on what their guidelines are. But yeah, you can buy a house again. In fact, a lot of people are getting back in the marketplace after losing their home.
Right. But the
in
biggest
verbal
thing, help I think that we can give people advice would be reestablish. So just because you had bad credit, credit issues happen in the past, bad things happen to good people all the time. So don't let it hold you back. Definitely jump back in and reestablish by getting new credit cards and things like
use
that.
your Wonder Twin powers to get you
That's
there.
right. You're going to need more than Wonder Twin powers, but
All right, come on, let's move on. How many we got left?
this is the last one before our segment.
Okay.
Okay. I think it's kind of funny. What is an underwriter and who gave them ungodly powers? This
Delyn?
sounds like somebody who had some underwriter problems.
Listen, since a lot of my
Wait,
fans,
was this by a loan officer? I'm kidding.
since a lot of my people that I deal with are underwriters, I'm going to refer this question to you, and because I don't want to make them mad.
Okay, so the underwriter, there are definitely stages and processes to doing the mortgage. People get a little bit confused, so I'm going to give you a real fast rundown. Your loan officer is your first set of eyes who goes to a processor. Her job is to verify everything and order employment verifications and things like that, and then it goes to an underwriter. Now, the underwriter's job is to tear the entire file apart, put it all back together, and make sure it makes sense, and make sure, more importantly, that it fits guidelines, because no one wants to see you in a foreclosure down the road. So, of course, we want to make sure it fits guidelines and that you guys can afford this house. So that's the underwriter's job. It's not that they have ungodly powers, but they do very much so. They have to follow guidelines, and they have to make sure that, because their job could be on the line, so they have to make sure that this
They're
loan
sticking their neck
fits.
out to make sure.
Right.
All right, so coming up, Delyn, we have the number one question of all. So you don't want to miss it. Yeah, it's a big one. But before we see that and hear that, we're going to get this week's tip from Devin at McWilliams & Son. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Devin with McWilliams & Son Air Conditioning, and today what I want to talk about to you is different filters, what's good for your system and what's not, and what we see a lot of. Today up here I have two different filters you could purchase at a lot of local warehouses, do-it-yourself stores. Up here is a pleated filter. We like to refer to these as the white accordion filter. What these can actually do to your unit, if not installed correctly or if you don't have a lot of returns in your home, these can actually restrict so much air that they will cause your unit to freeze and cause the compressor to lock up. If you'd like to use these filters, in a lot of homes and a lot of the older homes, you should just have another return installed. If you have a newer home, a lot of the homes made after 2005 were prepared for the higher efficiency systems and the Bel Air filters. They have more than one return. They have 2 to 4. Some homes actually have 5. This filter is okay in that home. It won't restrict that much air. But if you're in an older home, you should actually be using something similar to this one. These ones are kind of the throwaway. We refer to them as the hog hair. You normally see them in green, blue. You can find them at your local warehouses, your local do-it-yourself stores. So this is what you should be using. This is what we want to see you using. They only last a month, but they do exactly what you need to do. Catch what's needed and allow enough airflow to the unit so you don't cause your own issues. Give us a call at McWilliams & Son.
Another great tip from Devin at McWilliams & Sons this week. Wow, it's definitely
They
time.
are, and they are getting busy.
Oh my gosh,
It is heating up out
You
there.
think heating up? Oh my gosh.
It was like 90, I think, at like 7 o'clock this morning.
Well, it's the humidity too. It's like, it's
I
up there.
know.
So for those of you in like Houston, I feel bad for you because it's worse in Florida. Just saying.
I know.
Yeah, they have like moisture on their
Our friend
windows
Maria
almost.
just got back from Ohio, and she said it was so perfect.
Yeah, it's perfectly hot, but
Yeah.
dry. They have
But
dry. heat.
dry.
But 100 degrees, it's still hot. I don't care if it's dry or
No
not.
matter where you are.
All right, so let's get to the number one question.
I'm sure the
asked.
sound man is just loving that right now.
He loves us.
Sorry,
Okay.
James.
The number one
Okay.
question.
Number one question that we get, and I probably get this question at least 3 times a week, and it doesn't
times
make
a
a
week?
difference. At least.
Okay.
Doesn't
And
make a
I
difference.
think
if
you're
it-
under exaggerating.
Yeah, I probably
For
am.
once.
Doesn't make a difference if it's coming from a realtor or if it's coming from a consumer. The same question comes in all the time. How much are closing costs?
I give up, Delyn.
That's a biggie.
I think you need to put on your mortgage guru Wonder Twin Powers hat to answer that one.
Okay. So the thing, as talking to the
Folks,
realtor,
this could be a while, so I'm just going to say back.
talking to the real estate professional here, what I don't want you to say is don't ever tell your clients 6%. Because that's wrong. Because if you calculate 6% of a $60,000 house versus 6% of a $360,000 house,
Are those different numbers, Delyn?
big difference.
Really?
and a lot of
Are you wearing your math guru hat now?
a lot of your closing costs are,
She just
are fixed fees.
She just ignores
I know.
me.
I'm totally ignoring him now.
Hey, I'm over here. Yo.
Don't switch the camera, James.
James!
James, stay
Come
right
on,
here.
I gotta throw her off, James!
A lot of
Give me
your
some
closing costs are
airtime.
fixed costs. They're from the title company, their closing fee or underwriting fee, the appraisal fees. Those things, for the most part, do not vary by a whole heck of a lot. There are a couple of things that do vary based on loan size. Now, stop it. He's yawning over there. The two things that I like to break it into 2 different parts. You have your hard costs. Those are things like your underwriting fee, your appraisal fee, your processing
The
fee, your
ungodly
title
underwriter.
fees, your survey fees, your recording the documents in the county clerk's. Those are all hard costs. Those are true hard costs. And those are going to be, for the most part, a lot of them are set fees. He really wants, it's killing him. He's not on camera right now. Taking this weapon away from him. The second half of closing cost is going to be your escrows. That is totally dependent on how much is the insurance going to be on the house and what are the taxes on the house, because the insurance always has to be paid upfront 1 year. So if your insurance is going to be $1,000 a year, then plan on $1,000 at closing for that. If it's $2,000 a year, plan on $2,000 for that. Same thing with flood. Real estate taxes, they're going to prorate it based upon when the next tax bill is due. So that one depends on what time of the year you close. So that's it. I'm over. Are you done?
Oh, Oh, that wasn't me.
Thank you, James.
I got caught on camera. My hand was in the cookie jar.
Yes, it was.
Oh, it wasn't me. I was not there.
So I apologize if that was a little cut up for you, but I'm happy to go through it.
I was having a
Usually with
great
all of my
time.
clients go through it line at a time so you understand it.
I'm exhausted
But it definitely
from that.
is. It definitely is a big question, and it's so one that you need to understand if you're buying a home
I feel a lot better.
or selling a home.
It's good to know. You know what? Let's talk about our upcoming events. We got
We
anything
have-
good? Oh, don't worry about your ringer.
Sorry, I have an alarm going off here.
It's a fine to the studio. I think it's like $1 million. Wow, what's going on with you? All right, let's talk about upcoming events. You got anything going on, Dylan? Oh, I got something.
Like I didn't know that.
You know what? We gotta plug. You know what? We got a Barry for Pasco
I never
Sunset.
see him, but
Barry for Pasco Sunset Cruise. We still got a few seats left. We're going to meet up in Newport Richey, Gulf Harbors.
that's going
Cruise out to
fast
the
though. So if you
island.
want to do that, you need to
Beer,
reach out quick.
wine, some hors d'oeuvres. It's going to be a great time, great way to network. You can donate online on barryforpasco.com. Suggested minimum contribution to experience this trip is $50 per person.
A lot of fun. If you've ever been on any of our, think like the Rays game or the Lightning bus trips, think that except on a boat. It is limited number of people
Yes.
and it is almost full. So if you do want to get it there, how do they reach you? How do they sign up for
They
that?
sign up on barryforpasco.com and just hit the donate tab, and we'll reach out to you once you do and confirm
lock in your seat. That's right.
Absolutely.
What else do you have going on,
Oh,
Barry?
we got more!
I figured you did.
Yeah, we got June 28th. We got the mixer for WPBA at Oasis Coffee Shop in Port Richey and Embassy and Little Road.
And it's not just for WPBA members. It is open to anyone.
Anybody,
so by all
anywhere.
means, please come and network in the community
And
with
then
us.
we're going to have a little campaign fundraiser after that at the same location for some food. Come join us for refreshments, some appetizers. Should be a good time.
And again, you can find out more information on that at WPBA.biz.
Yes. Stop biz.
And I love Oasis Coffee Shop. It's a wonderful little coffee
They're a
shop.
great
so
organization. I
good
give 'em a-
family,
gotta
good
give a plug
family-owned
to Jerry
business.
out there,
I know, we love that.
because I know
that
he's a big
place.
fan of our show. Everybody
And
is.
I'm a big fan of his coffee.
Oh, well, that's because he's not an underwriter. He still likes us, so
You know, I'm
right.
a big fan of coffee.
clearly.
All right, so anything else,
Well,
Barry,
you know, we
have
got
going on?
Kia Fest coming up July 1st in Newport Richey, downtown.
I know.
At Sims Park. It's July 1st and 2nd, that whole weekend.
And they're going to have fireworks and everything.
Yeah,
it's
it's gonna
at
be
the new and improved, beautiful downtown Sims Park,
It's going to be nice.
run
It's gonna
by
be
our
lovely.
very dear friend Casey.
All right, that's it. We're not talking about
That's
anything
it.
else.
We got
don't want to
everything
go
else.
too far in the future.
I know.
We confuse our fan base if we give them. We already gave them way too
I
many
know.
tips.
We gave you a lot of
So
information.
don't forget, like us on social media, share us, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter,
All that fun stuff.
Instagram.
Whatever else, I don't know.
You don't know
That's
nothing.
that's his gig. I do the mortgages. He does the social media stuff.
All right.
Anyway, we appreciate you guys watching. Share us, like he said. We are today and every day.
Moving forward, and Wonder Twin Powers, activate!
Activate! We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.